How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the Blown Coverage Podcast. I am always Slam, joined for the second time by my friend Sonny. Hi, Sonny.
Hey, Slam, how you doing?
I'm doing well this evening. I like that your name on our little podcast software says Sonny, and then really small underneath it, it says badass.
It asked for a title when I came in the room. I was like, well, I guess I'll give myself a title.
Hell yeah, I like it. Mine is beat down the bookie 684-835-727 because I'm generic.
I mean, that's a pretty good number. Is that like your phone number? If I call that, will you pick up?
No, if you call it Pharma, we'll pick up and he'll come and fight you.
Probably. He's flying out to Ohio to fight me as we speak. No, actually, he's going to get people to come roll up on me. It's not even going to be him. It's going to be some random dude he met one time in the army.
How much did he offer the guy to fight? Was it Tally or Poodle? Did he offer
I
him
think it
five
was.
thousand,
I was going to say. I think it was 5 grand.
5 grand?
Yeah,
Dude, I might punch my own mother in the face for 5 grand.
you could hire like a bad hitman. Isn't that what they offered to pay the dude, motherfucking Jones in Horrible Bosses? Didn't they say like 5 grand in that movie to kill someone? I think
That's
so, right? I
I
think I
don't
just
know,
watched
but
that recently, I feel like.
either way, it's funny. Um, I don't. Okay, let's. This is a podcast about the league as a whole, and I think the chat is encompassed, in that the league. I'm gonna say this out loud to everybody. I can coexist in this league with Pharma. Okay, I just want to say that out loud. It's fine. I I really, from the bottom of my heart, do not like the internet tough guy thing. I just don't. We're all grown men with families, and we hang out and we play this game. We spend probably more time on the internet than we should. So we're all kind of dorks in our own right. But trolling everybody and saying your mom jokes and all that kind of stuff, that's funny. It's lighthearted, it's cool, it brings us closer together. But come on, let's not talk about fighting each other for real. No one's gonna do that. No one wants to do that. No one hates anybody. I don't hate Quibble. I don't hate you, Pharma. I don't hate anyone. It's just,
What
something.
about Z Star? Hold on. What about Z Star?
Now, I don't want to get super personal. He said some stuff about my family, and I'm not cool with. So
I mean, your
see,
name's still your name, right?
yeah,
So, I mean,
C username, and I don't think it'll change either. So there's
in like
that.
5 years, somebody's going to come and be like, I have no clue what this means. Somebody
Nope.
explain it. Like, let me tell you, back in the day.
But it's okay. But I really feel like I needed to get that off my chest. Everybody in this league is, I've do you want okay, here's an interesting stat. I've spent more time with some of these dudes in this chat than I did with my first wife.
Okay. Now, that could be taken a couple different ways.
I mean, but whatever way you want to take it, it's the truth. So, some of these dudes I've talked to every day for the last 5-6 years. I don't I guess I would consider some of them friends, even though I've never met them. It is what it is. So Bomber always talks about how this is a community, and we want this place to be, familial almost. I do agree with that as well. And sometimes people get out of line. I argue with my wife, I argue with my parents, I argue with my best friend. It happens. But then, at the end of the day, there's a relationship there and you move past it. And so I feel like that's how everybody should be um, in the chat personally. And if you want to call me a hypocrite because of something I said to you in the past, go right on ahead, man. I'm going to sleep well at night. And, it is what it is. Sonny, I needed to get that off my chest. Is there anything you need to get off your chest?
Do you have any brothers?
I have 0 brothers. I'm an only
Okay.
child.
All right. Well, that actually explains some things. So, what's funny is you talked about the family unit. You said, the internet tough guy and fighting people. Look, I don't know. I have 3 brothers, and legit, even now in our 20s and 30s, we will fight, and sometimes physically fight. But at the end of the day, right, we all come back together. So maybe it's not that weird, right? If we are a family, maybe Pharma flying out and trying to whoop your ass may not be too weird.
I
Um,
don't. It probably is. And Pharma, please don't take this as us making fun of you. ISO, don't take this as us making fun of Pharma either. This like it's real. Like Pharma blocked me the other day. It is what it is. I don't I wouldn't have blocked. I didn't block him. I didn't feel the need to, but if that's how he gets his piece, right on. And if that's going to make this league more fun and desirable for you, I'm all for it. I do, I want to be liked by everybody in this league. It's probably not going to happen because our personalities don't mix at times with other personalities, but it is what it is.
All right.
Yep.
Well,
All right. Housekeeping out of the way, but it needed to be said. But everybody love everybody.
all right. Dr. Phil is over. Now we're moving on to roasting people, doing
Oh my
roasted.
gosh, I'm so ready to shit on some people, myself included. It is what it is. We're 5 games into the season. What are we in week 6?
I think we're still on 5, aren't we? We just
Are
haven't
we?
advanced to 6.
Are we week 5?
Yeah, we're waiting to close out some games. Some people only have 4 in here, so I'm pretty sure we're on week 5 still.
All right, week 5, just a little over a quarter into the season, almost a third of the way into the season now. Once we advance to week 6, Sonny, how are you? How do you feel about the Jets? 5 games in.
I feel like I'm pretty upset about that one loss I have, but other than that, not too bad.
Hey,
It's been interesting. Aaron Rodgers is something. Okay, so the craziest thing, right, is I've never been a passer, or excuse me, a runner. But Brees Hall leading the league, 484 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, I don't know what the hell that's about. I don't expect that to continue, but holy shit.
I just I have I the pendulum's going to swing the other way now, I guess, and I'm going to talk about the Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco second in the league in rushing after a dismal week 1. People were ready to throw some dirt on the Isaiah Pacheco grave.
Yeah, I actually had a shovel full. I think I started digging that hole for you.
You instigate at times, but it's okay.
We'll see. I mean, look, you went out on a ledge. You said over on that big number, and you just when things start going wrong and you make that big claim, you got to take what comes with it.
It's really hard to say things are going wrong. Um, I don't know. That was 1 week into the season. Or
Look,
no, sorry, it was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. We won in week 1 and we lost in week 2.
same, and I thought my season was over.
Oh
So I mean,
gosh.
welcome to the world, right?
I
Like it's
mean,
crazy
what
shit out here.
learn to lose a little bit at times.
Fuck that. We want winners.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
we do want winners. Let's
but
talk about some
yeah, I was
winners.
just gonna say, let's talk about that. Like, there's been some surprises around here, haven't there?
There have and hold on. We were talking about this before we started. Before we talk about anyone in particular, wild a wild take, a wild statement, an overreaction, anything you got, hit me with it.
You just can't wait. You
I
just
can't.
can't wait.
I can't.
This was supposed to be the closer, right? This was supposed to be the end
It,
of the show,
but it's
and
not
Slam
going to.
Slam literally can't wait 8 minutes into this thing to have this. So okay, so we didn't tell each other this, but we both thought we'd have the same one, and I feel like we probably do. So my wild take is all of the current undefeated teams will not win a playoff game.
I wild take, and our takes are so similar, but they're not the same.
Yours is about Poodle, right? We know that.
No, it was. It's not. It's not about Poodle because I played Poodle. Poodle's good. We'll talk about that in a second. But what I was going to say is because there's 3 undefeated teams. There's the Chargers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Dallas Cowboys. Your take is great, and Poodle's going to win a playoff game with that squad and this conference. He's absolutely going to do it. Jacksonville, Dallas, I don't think they will. And that was my take was that just that the AFC leader currently and the NFC leader currently would not win a playoff game.
So here's my thing about LA. So I think they'll be the 2 seed. They're going to pick the 7th seed up. I think the 7th seed could be someone kind of that is a little screwy. Um, it could be you. It could be, like maybe an Indy or a Houston, depending on how that division goes, right? So I think it'll be somebody that's actually not bad. They're just happen to be in a division with a higher ranking team. And I'm just gonna say, I Poodle's feeling himself. right? What is it? Justin Herbert, 13 touchdowns, one interception, right? He's doing that same thing he did again last year. He's doing that thing where he's just putting up these gaudy numbers, but unless like in my mind, I feel like he needs to be battle tested. He needs to get behind in a game. He needs to throw a couple interceptions and figure out how he's going to dig out. Because if he cakewalks through this AFC, I just think he blows it again.
I mean, Poodle was a a conference champion season one last cycle. You have to understand, Poodle plays this game probably more than any of us,
Mm,
and
I think
and
Sal may actually play more than any of us. He played like 3 games back to back to back last night. It was crazy.
uh, yeah, that's fair because Sal and I are in a league that advances every day, but we play the computer a lot, and that's
Oh,
not the same. It's not the same. Poodle plays in two 32-man leagues, one of which is a fantasy draft league, and dude plays. Dude knows, he knows the thing. I'm not going to say he's a cheeser or a cheater or anything. That's just funny, you know, stuff for the chat just to make people laugh. But, dude does his homework. He knows what works. He knows what he wants to do. He knows the players that he wants on his team to do the things that work and the things that work for him. And I just think he is a little bit more scientific about this game than most of us. And that gives him an edge early on because I'll tell you what, week one of this season, that was the second user game I had played since the game came out.
right,
So,
but it didn't carry him last year. What happened to him last year when he got to the playoffs? He got
well, I mean,
bounced.
yeah, because
Right.
by then we'll all have,
Yeah, that's what I'm
15 plus
saying.
games under our belt at least. And, now we'll know what works for us.
But but he's not battle tested, and I think look, I think JB to an extent had that same issue last year where he kind of cakewalked through the season, and then when you get to the playoffs, there's guys that are just locked in that know how to win in tight games because they're so used to having to play them, and I think there's other folks that pressure and nerves and things build up, and they just don't know how to figure out how to like get that stop or get that final score when it matters. So that's my prediction. I think Talley's going to have a great regular season. I was just looking at his schedule. Very nice, favorable schedule. I think he does play the Dolphins and the Jets later in the season. Um, Dallas is kind of interesting. I mean, he's had some interesting games there. I'm waiting for him to hit maybe a little bit more of the meat of that schedule, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't kind of know who these guys are yet, but um, I don't know. I'm just not predicting big things right now.
Yeah, figuring out who you are and what your team does best is kind of what almost I guess what you could say this first season is about. Because I don't think a lot of people hit their stride until they've had one off season and they can really go after some free agents to fill in the holes. They can draft to fill in a couple more holes and like, kind of bolster the foundation of their team for the future seasons. So I think that's when you start to see some of these teams that are kind of at the like I mean, let's look at Cougs for example. I don't know how many games he's actually played, but he still hasn't won a game and that's just not going to last.
I think he's
That's the
played two. He lost
okay.
to Bomber, and I think he lost to DB.
I mean, it happens, but Cougs definitely ain't going to be 0-4, 0 for forever. He's going to figure it out and he's going to start to roll. Um, I guess I don't really know much about Tampa Bay. Who's Green Bay? Oh yeah, that's it's
Yeah,
OSU.
yeah.
OSU is always busy season one and two, so I just think some of these guys that are at the bottom are going to figure it out and they're going to change some things. I mean, technically, technically, I'm at the bottom. I'm third in my division. I personally don't think that's going to last, dude. What Denver has a tie?
That was Madden.
Oh no, did they get like disconnected or something?
It was a fair sim, and Madden just did a tie and a fair sim.
Oh well, good lucky for him.
Yeah, I mean that was actually the week that Tyler the Fraud disappeared, and Broncos kept saying, "Yeah, we're playing after 8." I'm like, "You're not playing. You're not playing. You're not playing." And then like everybody looked around, like, "Oh my god!" Shocked Pikachu face. where is this guy? I'm like, I told you guys he was done. Like this happens. We knew this was gonna happen. So um
Absolutely. Has he been? He hasn't been replaced yet, has he?
Gov just took over for the Rams, right?
Did he?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Gov just took over. He's back.
Um,
Where have you been?
nah, Gov ain't in the chat, cuz. Oh, he sure is. He sure is. When did that happen?
Like 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
No.
Yeah.
Well, 2 days ago and not changing your name is not a good sign. His name is still Gov Cards.
Okay.
Yep. So not a good sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
So waiting to hear from Gov. Gov. I mean, I'm happy Gov's back. I like Gov. Um,
Definitely. I mean, it makes the NFC once again really strong.
yes.
So
I
we'll
don't
we'll
know if
see.
he from user Gov. Let's see when the last time Gov spoke in the chat. Today at 8:29.
I was gonna say, I feel like I saw him recently. He's
Yeah,
around. You're just, he's not on Cali time, so
he. Well, today I didn't go into work. So usually when I go into work, I'm on your guys' time.
that's when you do all the talking is when you're at work. So
I mean, you well super early in the morning at least. Usually,
yeah,
yeah. The first like 2 hours of work, I'm at. Then I have to move around and drive places and do all sorts of things. So I'm gone. But
I
today
think you
I.
just disconnected your mic. Now that's kind of interesting. You were
Oh
you were in
no.
the thought about tennis about how you don't do any work,
Ugh. Can you hear me now?
and then your mic just cut out,
Oh, I'm
and it's
muted.
still out.
All right, what about now?
Now it's back.
Oh yeah, that was a weird one.
This
Okay, but
show is
yeah,
plagued with technical difficulties.
I'd be working.
Always, always.
Yes.
Well, so so let's flip this again, right? So we talked about our wild predictions, right? And it had a negative spin, but I do want to talk about some surprises. I think um, Minnesota sitting at 4-1, right? Like I think we when we did our over unders, there was a high number on Minnesota, which I thought was kind of shocking. But I'll tell you what, Sal's got JJ McCarthy playing really good. I think he's got a good shot at rookie of the year. Um, I think that offense he runs there, it's just so hard to stop. And he, Sal is a great runner, but not, like he drops back, and if he sees you in man and everybody turns around and runs, he'll take off and get the first down on you, which makes it just so frustrating to try to stop his offense. Because obviously you've got, Justin Jefferson, you've got Addison, you've got Hawkinson, who he uses real well, and now he's got Travis Etienne. Oh, by the way, one of the biggest trades we've seen so far in NBL. Like that's a team that's got a ton of upside.
Yes, I agree. And I don't know. I don't know if my neon has been updated. Um, has Sal played? Have you and Sal played right?
Yeah, we played this week.
Oh, okay, yes. So, did Justin Jefferson score in your game?
I don't think so.
Justin Jefferson has no touchdown catches.
Yeah. Yeah, so he doesn't look his way a lot. It's kind of fascinating. So
Yeah,
he doesn't clear that number one side very much. So we'll go into a little technical breakdown here. So his scheme is really slot. He works the inside. So he's working slot and tight ends, and he's usually got an over under, so kind of a high low concept going. And so you've always got kind of a tight end running under one way and a slot running over top the other. And the problem is it puts your user in a really tough situation. And then if you do somehow run, maybe you get a robber in there, and one guy takes one and you guess the right one, then you've got JJ McCarthy or, Sam Darnold for that matter, taking off and running on you and getting the first down. It's a really tough scheme to play against. Jefferson, he hasn't quite, I think, figured it out, but it does dictate how you play because I was worried about Jefferson getting over top of me. So I had to stay in a too high shell most of the game. And
oh
and
yeah,
really what that does is it throws you off because that middle of the field that he really is looking to attack is such a problem, such a difficult thing to stop.
that's an excellent breakdown. Um, Still, I think that there are there are ways, because a lot of the high low stuff, I do as well, because it gives you, I love the middle of the field. Give me the middle of the field. But at the same time, I know that I have a good wide receiver that can play outside too, because, the majority of times you play anyone, who are they using? A lot of people use her the middle linebacker. And so they kind of just sit around in the middle of the field. And unless you want to test that person's user, you kind of have to throw away from the user. And I don't know. I want to throw to Justin Jefferson. If I had to have a receiver win on the outside, I have Rashee Rice. He's my outside winner. Would you rather have Rashee Rice or Justin Jefferson?
Oh, well, I'm going Justin Jefferson every time, but I think the point about that high low is really it puts the user in conflict because you're not going to throw it when your high low concept is essentially sandwiching that user. What you're trying to do is force that user to take one, and you're really
Right.
waiting to throw it on the outsides of the hashes. And I can tell you that left to right, drag or even he runs a lot of digs. Those coming back, especially that dig, because it's so much slower than what the tight end's usually running underneath. You usually always take that tight end. So that, 15, 20 yard dig behind it is always open. So, really, like I said, a tough concept to stop. He plays, solid defense. I think a lot more man than most people, which is kind of interesting. I think it throws people off a little bit. So, really excited about that. And then let's, back to the AFC side. We give, DB as much shit as anybody, right? But 4-1. And look, here's the thing is like, Sal's 4-1, maybe a little bit softer. And even some of the 5-0s maybe a little bit softer. But if you look at DB, he does have that win over Cougs. That's a solid win to me. I know Cougs is still just getting back into things, but he pretty much dominated that game. So, we'll see what DB has. His schedule's super, super weak. I mean, he's going to run into Fat next week, who the Donnie Mitchell or Adonai Mitchell, I don't know how to pronounce it, but um, you've got AD Mitchell, we'll say, and then you're going to go into Slim, and then you're going to go Pharma, and then Gov. I mean, that's probably his toughest stretch until he hits maybe me in week 14. So we'll see what he's got, but I think DB's going to win 10 or 11 games.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree with you. He unfortunately he has to, um, well, not unfortunate. I guess his last two division games are you in week 14 and you in week 18. Um, so if he's fighting for a division, if the division race is super tight, it could come down to week 18 to see who wins the division.
Yeah.
It's always the worst. I hate playing, meaningful games in a week 18. It's awful.
Yes, 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 it is.
I hate it.
Um, so
So,
we've got some surprises. We've got maybe some things coming. You know, some of the things I've been kind of interested in checking out statistically are things just at a team level. So, I was looking at some stats and some things that stick out to me are sacks. Right?
ooh,
It's early in the cycle. People are trying to figure out how to throw. They're holding the ball a little bit longer. The Bengals right now in 5 games have given up 17 sacks.
jeez.
That's a lot of sacks.
I'm
Um, our boy's got to get the ball out. He's going to get Joe Burrow killed.
Yeah,
Although
17 sacks.
very sim, right?
Well, hold on. Is that 17 sacks given up, or is that 17 sacks that they've sacked?
No, that's 17 sacks given up. Because if you sort by offense, that's what you've given up, and then if you go to defense, that's what
Oh,
you've
it is
actually got.
offense. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah. So, kind of an interesting stat there. Like, holy crap, uh, that's not good.
No. Oh, man. I mean, I've probably been sacked a fair amount of times, I think. I feel like I have. Oh, I've only been sacked 7 times. Oof. And I feel like that's a lot. I feel like I'm getting sacked all the time with only giving up 7 sacks. I couldn't even imagine 17 sacks.
Yeah, it's just constant pressure there. So, kind of interesting. Now, on the flip side, um, like what is fueling DB and some of these big wins right now? These teams leading the league. Here's the secret sauce: it's interceptions. I'm going to read to you the top five in the league in interceptions, received.
Oh,
Dolphins, 18. Jaguars, 15. Jets, 14. Chiefs, 13. Cowboys, 12. There's a certain trend there. Other than the Chiefs, everybody in that top five has four or more wins, right?
hey man.
Essentially, people getting the interceptions are winning the games, right? So it'll be interesting to see as those interceptions come down as people play more games, if that starts changing the fundamental kind of outcomes of some of these guys that do have those big records right now.
I will say this. My second loss, or my first loss, really, it was my first loss that, because now I have two losses. My first loss came down to the final play. So,
Don't want to talk about it. It's all right. It's all right.
but no, that makes a lot of sense. Usually if you win the turnover battle, you win the game.
Yeah.
And um, I will. You can probably remove the Chiefs from that list because I think I got like 6 or 7 interceptions in my week 5 game. So,
Oh,
I
it's
don't.
okay.
Yeah, it could be fool's gold. I probably, if you take out that game, I'm not up there. So that's fine. But yes, turn the ball over, you lose, you take the ball away, you're probably going to win. Everybody knows it. No one wants to throw interceptions. No one wants. Oh, let's talk about fumbles because that's something that I've seen in my personal experience. I've lost so many fumbles. Can we even look? Yep, turnovers. We can look at that.
But here's the
Fumbles.
interesting thing: fumble recovered is not really high right now, right? There's not been a ton of fumbles recovered, but there's been a ton caused. You can't actually see it on the number of forced fumbles as a team. You can only see the recovered. But I was looking through Cardinals, for example. I think Cardinals has like 9 or 10 forced fumbles, something crazy.
Oh man, I mean, you want to take a guess at who's leading the league in fumbles lost?
You right?
Oh, it's so the Chiefs.
Oh my God, everything's got to come back to the Chiefs, just like in real life.
I mean, I
Pretty
just
pretty soon, Slam's gonna be dating Taylor Swift, and we're all gonna have to
hey
hear it all the time.
don't yeah, that's my plan. But no, I just sorted by who had lost the most fumbles, and I wasn't shocked that it was me.
How how weird.
I
It
mean,
could,
yeah,
it could be
there's a
anything.
group of teams that haven't lost a single fumble.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, there's a bunch of teams that haven't lost a single one. There's one team that hasn't lost a fumble or recovered a fumble.
So
It's the Steelers too. Draco. So the Bears, the Patriots, and the Steelers.
so here's another interesting little thing I've been thinking about as we've talked about Madden 25 and some of the quirks about it. Kicking is quirky, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Some guys are still really good at kicking. So, for instance, the New York Giants, he's got a 4 for 4 with a long of 56 yards. I would not even dream to attempt a 56 yarder in this game. The
I don't.
Cardinals have a 57 yarder.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. Everybody's finding kicking so difficult. I don't get it.
No interest. No interest. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, I don't. I've only attempted one field goal, so I guess I don't really. I guess my opinion doesn't count. But I don't know.
Uh,
I didn't.
bro, you missed an extra point. I don't want to hear it.
That extra point. That was a lagged extra point. Thank you.
Oh, here we go. Excuses.
No, it really was. Like it was one of the ones where you press the button and it doesn't register and the kick flies like immediately to the left.
So,
So
just the amount of change that's happened from last year to this year, just think about this for a second. There
yeah,
are about 10 teams that the longest kick field goal they've attempted so far is less than 40 yards.
yeah,
That's
that's
the longest field goal they've even attempted. Or excuse me, that they've hit, I should say, is less than 40 yards. I guess that's field goal the longest made. So the longest field goal about 10 of the teams in the league have made this year is 40 yards or less. That's pretty insane.
that is insane.
So it's a different game, right? Like last year, if you were playing the Ravens or the Bengals with McPherson, or there were a few other kickers, if you
It
got
was
to the 50
automatic.
yard line, let's say last possession, 30 seconds left, tie game, like it sucked because you knew if they got to a 50-yard line, the game was over because they were going to make
Oh,
that kick. So,
absolutely.
so it is. insane this year for kicking to be such a variable to this. And I look for that in the playoffs. Like, I think in the playoffs, somebody's going to lose a game because they can't kick a field goal to end it when last year they easily would have been able to make it.
Yeah. They're on the other side of that, 3, 6. There's 10 teams who are still at 100% field goal percentage with only one of those teams has taken less than 2 field goals. Dallas is 8 for 8. The Rams are 7 for 7 with a oh my gosh, the Rams are 7 for 7 with a long of 55.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's made 3 50+ yard field
Well,
goals.
hold on. That was probably mainly CPU because Tyler the Fraud wasn't playing for like at all.
Oh no.
So
Oh well.
to be fair, right? We got to be fair with that.
That yes, that is fair. Well, the prophecy has been fulfilled. You are Nostradamus. You told us it was going to happen. It happened. What was the over under 5.5?
Yeah, I think so. And I said way under, and it was way under.
No, you. I thought you said you said you were going to call it over
Oh, on his
because
games because he'd be gone before that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, because he wasn't even going to play him. Well, now
Right.
Gov's here, and Gov has a chance to rattle off a few victories and go over that 5.5 number.
Yeah, it's insane.
So there we
Insane.
go. That's real fun. Uh, do you have? This has been kind of a shorter one, but do you have anything to close us out with?
Uh, I think some interesting trades. I think we
Oh
talked a little
yes.
bit about some trades, but we said that Travis Etienne getting shipped from Jacksonville, the 5-0 Jacksonville Jaguars, to the Minnesota Vikings for Aaron Jones and that first round pick. Let's see how that comes out, right? Like, will the Jaguars wish they had ETN later in the season when an older Aaron Jones maybe wears down or gets hurt, and they wish they would have had ETN to carry the load because that's a team that obviously does really well with the running. In fact, Tally always has relied on that running game, so we'll see about that one. And then we had the Poodle trade of sending Palmer and a sec or in 2 seconds actually uh, for Drake London, which kind of interesting. I mean, Miller's a Falcons fan, so that was a little bit surprising, I think, to me. But when you look at it and you strip the names out, I think Miller just kind of dominates that trade because there's not a huge difference between the two, age wise, skill wise, things like that. Plus, you get those 2 extra picks for a team in the Falcons who have to rebuild. I mean, frankly, that cap is in such bad situation. You got to rebuild it, and so those 2 extra second round picks are going to be huge for them.
And I think that's kind of what went into it, besides being a fan, is you realize that, you're gonna probably have to re-sign this individual at some point. And, I think it's best to sell high. Because what if you play 2 seasons with Drake London and let's say he doesn't really develop, he gets to maybe like an 86 or 87 overall, he's kind of just where you at. People probably have drafted some fast rookies by then. You're kind of stuck with this 88 speed wide receiver, and you don't really know. People aren't really coming, beating down your door for him. So I think you sell high, and you sell to a guy that actually wants him, that was willing to pay. I don't think it was an overpay. I think it was a solid pay, and like you said, you get 2 second round picks out of it that can hopefully help your team for the entire cycle.
How are we feeling about Noah Fant and Sam Howell going down to Dallas for that second round pick? When now you hear TJX saying, well, maybe he has to keep Dak and pay him, when the whole plan all along seemed like he was going to let Dak walk. You know, if that's the case, are you really excited about a second round pick for 75 overall, 26-year-old Noah Fant?
I don't think it's gonna hurt you. I think it's kind of just I I mean, no, he'll probably keep. Dallas got Noah Fant, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I think no, that's fine. You're not going to find a tight end better than Noah Fant in the draft. I
Yeah,
don't,
I mean, he's
unless you draft
26.
one in the unless you draft one in the first round.
He's 26. He's only 75 overall at this point. I mean, he's tapping out his age. The
But
the degradation of developing players at 27 essentially falls off a cliff. So you
is he
kind of
fast?
feel. I mean, yeah, he's fast. He's not really tall
That's
though. He's kind of like normal height. So
I mean
I kind of
that's
like my tight ends to be tall and fast and amazing, but.
Yeah, I mean, that's what did Poodle say the other day? And I'm looking for $1 billion or $1 million.
Yeah, sure.
We all want a tall, fast, amazing tight end, but they don't grow on trees. And so I think you pay a little bit more of a second round pick for Noah Fant is probably high. Not probably, it is high, but you pay to play. I think what did I trade? I think I traded a did I trade a first for I traded a first for a really fast corner.
You did what?
So
Oh yeah, Kylie Ringo.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a dumb trade. Let's talk about
Oh,
that for a second. What the hell were
get
you
out of
thinking?
here. I mean, he's fast. He's young.
Do you
He,
notice him getting burned on every slant ever thrown?
you want to hear something real funny? I don't
Maybe.
even know if my man sees the field.
Well, that was a good use of a first round pick.
Um,
What are we
it,
doing?
um, a lot of it has to do with when I play. I don't think I've adjusted my depth chart, and then I usually play really late, and I'm just like, let's get into the game and play. I don't even think I've trained in the last 3 weeks.
Maybe, just maybe you should go fix your depth chart.
Maybe, I don't know. Who cares? We're winning anyway. With old ass Pat Pete out there. You want to talk about someone that gets burned all the time? Pat Pete, burnt toast.
I mean, imagine if you could put somebody else in there.
Yeah, I
Like,
think the only time I played Ringo, like I actually put him in the game, I think he got an interception.
well, makes a lot of sense to keep him out. Yeah, I mean, look, if you would have put him in against Poodle, maybe you win. That's all I'm saying.
Oh God, no! I fumbled like 3 times in that game, and he recovered all of them. So
Oh God.
no, wasn't happening. I think I fumbled inside the 5 once.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's a good strategy. Try that
I mean
more.
it happens, And here's the thing: the fumbles aren't why I lost. I couldn't play any fucking defense. He scored every time he had the ball.
Yeah. Well,
The only thing is, if I don't fumble those times and I score every time, it goes down to the wire.
yeah, it's
That's the
okay.
Yeah, we're fine. It's
All
it's
good.
it's cool. Yeah, he
Maybe.
can he can
Whatever.
have his week 4 victory. I'll see him in like week 19 or 20.
Maybe. Maybe.
No, 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 maybe.
Maybe.
Don't quit playing.
Maybe. I do have the under, so I'm just saying.
Uh, uh, find me less than 9 wins on my schedule.
Well, that
Don't
was
really
your
do.
line was
Don't really do
12.
that.
Your line
Don't
was
really
12
do
and a
that.
half.
Don't do that. We're not
All
gonna
good.
we're not gonna do that now. This ain't about me. This is about the league.
All good. All good.
Yeah. Oh boy. So we're going
Week one,
into
right?
week 6 advance. Is the week 6 advance tomorrow?
Maybe tonight. Who knows?
Oh. No, we advanced last night.
You never know.
No, I know. It's already it's already 10 p.m. Eastern.
Well, and I said playing at 10:30, so he may just
Oh, is
get
he
an
really?
angry. He may get angry and decide he wants to just advance after that. Who knows? If
Oh,
look, hey, if Santana wins that though, the chat is going to be popping all weekend. So stay tuned, folks, because things could get real.
he kills me with his unisolated availability posts.
Yeah,
Those actually are really funny and they make me laugh every time because I don't even know it. Does ISO really have bad availability?
I mean, I don't know. Ask his brother. He would know better than all of us.
But see, he would also exaggerate more than any of us, I think.
Huh, maybe.
Yeah, I saw ISO make a post or something the other day about how he'd only missed like one game in 4 cycles. I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
if
who's
that's true or not. I was gone.
yeah. I was gonna say I don't know who's keeping track of that stat, but he said it. So
We're gonna need a stat
okay,
of the day.
yeah,
Is it Dan Patrick has it? We need that stat of the day. Music. Stat of the day. Stat of the day.
maybe we can incorporate that
Yeah,
into
man. We need to get our
future
soundboard game
episodes.
going. We need to get some
Ooh,
soundboard stuff.
this is the only soundboard thing that matters to me. The horn. The
Oh
horn's
God.
the only soundboard button I need.
Okay. Random quick conversation.
Ooh,
Uh,
I like it.
I was actually listening to NBL, or no, I was listening to Building the Franchise in my car driving to pick up my 2-year-old the other day, and it's playing through my speakers in my car, and that horn comes on, and my 2-year-old goes, "Daddy, that loud. Daddy, that loud." And he just keeps telling me and covering his ears. I'm like, "I know, buddy," and they just won't stop
They won't stop. What,
playing.
what game was on building the franchise? Because I missed it.
That was DB versus Cougs.
Oh, okay.
It was the
Very good.
premiere. Go check that out. It was the premiere building the franchise. Uh, more of that to come.
Okay, yes, I will definitely be tuning into. Was that the one that was played, like, in the middle of the day?
Yes, yes.
Okay, then that's I
DB's
so
horrible availability.
I didn't miss it. I think I watched, like, Cougs' stream or Brawler stream because I thought that was the day that, Bomber was sick.
He showed up at halftime, maybe.
Oh, okay. That makes sense because I watched, like, I think I only watched the first half. I was at work, so,
Ah, well,
yeah.
good thing you were paying attention.
Yeah, well, I had to, I had to eat lunch, so I stopped, ate lunch, watched the little bit of the game, and then when I was done with my lunch, I got up from my desk and walked away. It is what it is.
All
But
good.
I cannot wait to talk to you again about NBL football. We'll probably what? I guess if we do this once a week,
Probably
we
every
kind
three
of
or four advances. Yeah,
yeah, and that rocks. And I think that's an attainable goal. Uh, it's always nice spending an hour of my evening with you, sir.
it's a beautiful thing. A beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
Hopefully the next time we talk, the Chiefs are what 7-2, 6-2, so that way you can leave me alone.
Never.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have it any other way. Sonny, you have a wonderful night. I'm going to get back to prepping this house to hopefully sell it.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.